Valentine's Day. I'm Chloe, if you don't know me already from watching my videos. And so I just thought, it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to do a little gift of a heart opening flow with you. So, from wherever you are on your mat, if you come down to the sit bones, or the rump, and we're just going to come into an easy cross-legged pose. I say easy, but it's easier for some others. So grab your ankle, bring it towards your pelvis, allow the knee to bend, followed by the other foot just rests in front of the foot at the pelvis, and let the knees just flop open. You might find that yours are a bit higher here, that's fine. You can always stick some blocks under there, or some books, if you have them. Let's just ground down through those sit bones and arrive on our mat. Might want to take the fingers to Gaya Mudra, so that's like just your index fingers and thumbs together. Let the other fingers splay out. Rest the backs of the backs of the hands on the knees. And a big inhale, sit nice and tall, straightening out that spine, allowing the shoulders, so I've got an itchy nose, and allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears. Imagining there is a cord on the top, hooked into the top of your scalp, pulling you upward. And try here to engage your Mula Bandha, so your pelvic floor muscles. Ladies, you might probably know a bit more about engaging those if you're my age and have had a child. So just squeeze those muscles around the sort of bladder area and draw them, the stomach in towards the spine. Lovely. When you're ready, we're just going to put one hand to the mat and sweep the other arm up overhead. Maybe you want to come down to the forearm if you're feeling quite open today. Just find your level of comfort with how deep you want to take this side stretch. On exhale, sweep the raised arm down and send it over to the opposite side of the mat. Ground down through that palm. Other arm comes overhead. Feeling that deep stretch to the side body. Maybe taking it onto forearm here. Making sure you're comfortable where you are and that your sit bones are still on the mat. Lovely, and sweep back up to centre. Now I'm going to take one hand to the opposite knee and take the opposite palm behind the sit bones and do a bit of a twist. Look over your shoulder. Use your hand on your knee to sort of hinge you round as you twist, making sure that shoulder stays away from that ear. As you inhale, twist deeper, and as you exhale, relax into it. When you're ready, switch it to the side. Opposite hand comes to opposite knee. Opposite hand goes behind the sit bones and twist. And back to centre. Just going to open the feet, uncurl the feet, or unhook the foot and twist, and bring the feet flat. Take your hands to your sides and push them down into the mat, and just begin to windscreen wipe your knees. You can do your feet as well, so you can roll the feet up onto the heels And then just let your knees kind of flop and twist from side to side. They don't need to come all the way down to the floor like mine do. This is how your body moves today. Everybody's body is different. You do you, and I'll do me. And appreciate the wonderful body that you are in. Lovely. Now we're just going to swivel onto the hands and knees, coming into a tabletop pose. I'm just going to start to awaken that spine. So grip the palm a little with your fingers, engage that hasta bandha. And then as you lift the head, inhale and allow the spine to arch in your cat pose. And as you exhale, roll the spine to a rounded position and push that ground away powerfully in your cat position. Inhale back into your cow. I think I called this cat a minute ago and got them mixed up. Exhale and round. They both begin with C, and it's been a long day. Inhale, arch the spine in your cow. Exhale, push the ground away and round the spine, protracting the shoulders in your cat. Cow, cat, cow, cat, cow. Lovely. And then just move that down my way. I'm taking my right hand up to the sky and just opening the chest out to the side, grounding through the hand that is on the mat. And just opening that heart space up, inviting in the lovely love vibes of Valentine's Day. Shine that heart out proud. And then when you're ready, slotting that hand and twisting, sending it underneath the other arm. And if you can, bring your head down to the mat. Maybe your head is facing the mat like so, or maybe it's on its side, depends about the comfort in your neck. So coming into this sort of thread the needle pose. Option to walk your hand up towards the top of the mat and get a deeper stretch in that shoulder. Lift it up, and if you can lift it up, see if you can lift it up and hook it behind the hips. Doesn't matter if this isn't available for you today, just stay where you are or give it a try, up to you. And then inhale, send that hand back to the top of the mat and slide it back in. And we're going to do this on the opposite side. So inhale the opposite arm to the sky. Yay! Love! Shining the heart. And then as you twist the torso, sending that other arm underneath, threading it through under the other arm. Head comes down to the mat gently. Walking maybe that other hand to the top of the mat. And invitation to see if you can raise the arm and hook it onto the back of the hip. Maybe you can just leave it here on your back. This is perfectly fine as well, if that's where your body wants to go to. And exhale that arm back down. Slide the hand towards you. Come back into your tabletop. Lovely. Now, we're just going to arch the back a little and slide the palms forward on our mat and come into our puppy pose. Breathing deeply. Maybe your forehead comes down to the mat, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you want to bring a block under the head here and come down to a block. But allowing that curve into the spine and those shoulders to open. As you breathe, imagine that heart melting down to the earth, grounding that heart chakra. Maybe you can bring the chest closer to the mat. When you're ready, slide the arms back towards you. Fabulous. Then we're going to roll the hips up towards the sky into our down dog. So trying to create a bit of a triangle shape with our bodies. Doesn't really matter if your heels don't touch the mat here. Walk them out a little bit. If you feel like you're rounding in the spine here, just put a little dip in the knees, so bend the knees softly, and that should straighten your back out. That's the main aim here in this pose. Nice straight back. And when you're ready, walking the feet to the top of the mat, coming into a halfway lift. Keeping the eyes looking down at the mat so the neck is nice and long. Can have your blocks here as well if the floor is feeling a little bit far away today. When you're ready, rounding up through that spine into a mountain pose. And we're just going to run through a bit of a classic sun salutation. It's got some nice heart opening movements in there. It's going to help us really shine our love out today. So when you're ready, making sure you nicely ground down through those feet and that your feet are a comfortable distance apart for you. Really engaging those legs, pulling in those pelvic floor muscles, and I invite you to inhale the arms up overhead, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. In your extended mountain, bring the palms or hands together. You can keep them apart. Squeeze the buttocks together and see if you can come into a mini back bend if this is accessible and comfortable for you. Lovely. And then hinging at the hips, folding forward. You can come to blocks or books here if the ground's a little far away. Otherwise, hands to the mat, exhaling into a deep forward fold. Put a soft bend in your knees if this is pulling on your hamstrings. Sometimes the first one of the day, which it is for me, is a little tight. And I'm going to step back with my right foot. You can step back with the other foot, but we just need to make sure we are doing both sides. Nice right angle in that knee, stacked over the ankle, coming into a lunge. Invitation to allow that hamstring to really open here by sending the pelvis down towards the ground, letting it sink. You can come onto your blocks here as well, trying to open up this curve in the back and shine that heart out while we're here. My blocks are falling over. Naughty blocks. And pushing into the mat with the palms, stepping your foot back into a plank pose, pushing the ground away powerfully, trying to make one long line. If this is a lot in the wrists or the shoulders, invitation to drop the knees, maybe cross the ankles and be here. wherever you are, bringing those knees down to the mat anyway, because we're going to come into our Chandranamascara. Our knees, chin, chest. So we're going to, from here, shift forward, squeeze the torso with the triceps, and lower our chin and chest down to the ground. So putting a dip into your spine to do so. You can come down to a cushion here under the chest if you're a bit like, oh, my face is coming close to the floor. And then when you're ready, sliding the torso through the gates of the arms, pushing the torso up into either your little back bend of your Sphinx, your cobra with your slightly bent arms, or if you like, woohoo, you can pull it forward, straighten the arms, and lift those thighs off the mat in an up dog. Shift those hips back, send them up to the sky. Lifting your leg up to the sky, I'm lifting my right leg, so the one I stepped back with earlier, to come into my lunge. Remembering if you're on your blocks here, allowing that hip to open, that hip flexor to open as your hips sink to the ground. Option to raise your arms here. Then palms come to mat, step that foot back into your plank pose, allow the knees to drop, squeeze, dip the spine, squeeze the rib cage with the triceps, lower that chest down to the mat. Wonderful, slide it forward, coming into the back bend variation of your choice, sending the hips up to the sky, back in that down dog. And then option to walk your feet or hop them to the front of the mat, coming back into that deep forward fold. Raising and rolling up to standing back in your mountain. I'm going to do it all over again. Inhale the arms up. Invitation to mini back bend, making sure you're squeezing those glutes to protect the lower spine. Exhaling, hinging at the hips forward, coming down into that deep forward fold. Stepping back with the right foot. Finding that lunge, maybe you sweep the arms up here, sending them back down, stepping it back into your plank, pushing that ground away, lowering the knees, exhaling as we lower the chest down to the ground in that Chandranamascara. Inhaling, pulling the chest through into your back bend of choice. Exhaling, sending those hips back and up into your down dog. Inhaling that leg up, stepping it forward, coming into your lunge on the opposite side. Exhale, the arms down, stepping it forward, folding into your deep forward fold. And rolling all the way back up to your mountain. Lovely. Now, I'm going to lift up my right knee, so we're in this sort of H shape. You can have your hands on your hips here. Maybe if your ankle over roll here as well, just it's like, hello ankle, we like our ankles, let's respect our ankles. And when you're ready, inhale, exhale, step that foot back, embrace any wobble that may occur here. And invitation to sweep the arms up. Bring them down into a sort of cactus shape, so you're like that. And just lean, so your knee should be stacked over your ankle. And just as you send your arms back, lean a little more forward into that knee. And puff the chest. And we're going to close it and straighten the knee. And bend the knee and open and expand the chest. And we're like, as you straighten the leg, close the chest down, and then inhale, shine the heart. Exhale, close the heart. Inhale, shine the heart. Exhale, straighten that leg, close the heart. One more. Inhale, open the heart. Option here to send the arms behind. Can clasp the elbows at the back here, or bring the hands together and really, really puff the chest. Really shining that heart. Lovely. Then pivot on your back foot, keeping this knee bent and stacked over the ankles. Toes come to point on the back leg to the short edge of the long edge of the mat. Furthest point to the short edge. Just open the arms out here in your warrior. Gaze is down the arm, making sure that these arms are one long line. Core is strong, legs are strong. Lovely. And then we're going to straighten that front knee. Not so that the knee locks, but just straighten it a bit. Nice and softly. And then we're going to reach, imagine you're trying to reach a book on the shelf. Reach forward, option to have a block waiting here for you as well, because we're going to tilt and tip our torso and our hand down towards the ground. You may find that you can come to inner thigh, resting the hand on the inner thigh, the shin, or all the way down, woo, or on your block. You find where you're comfortable. You do you. If you are trying to reach the floor though, make sure your chest is peeled open, that heart centre is nice and open. We're opening the heart today, so we don't want it to be closed down like this. It's open. Wherever you are, it's open. Lovely. Power through that leg. And we're going to reverse that shape. So front leg is straight, back leg is straight. And we're bringing the opposite arm down to rest on the inner thigh and making that nice stretch up the opposite side of that rib cage. Oh, juicy. In our reverse triangle. Now bring it back to centre. Turn all of your sets of toes. I have 2 sets, maybe you have more. And we're going to be in this wide-legged shape. Adjust your feet accordingly to what is comfortable for your leg distance apart. And see if you can clasp those hands behind the back again. Obviously, option to clasp opposite elbows instead to lesser the intensity of this. Hinging at the hips, so hinging as we did in our deep forward fold, bringing the torso towards the thighs. And letting that head hang loose in our wide leg forward fold with these open chest. Maybe give it a bit of a sway. And then, when we're ready, bring those hands to the mat if you can. Otherwise, with blocks, walk yourself and turn yourself to the opposite end of the mat and step that foot to that opposite end, rolling up through the spine until we are back into that mountain. And this time we are going to bend the knee of the left leg, or the opposite leg to you did last time, coming into that sort of H shape again. Option to bring your hands to the hips here. And yes, we are going to step that foot all the way back again. There we go. Option to take the arms up overhead here, then bring them into your cactus shape. And remember what we're doing? Closing the chest as we straighten the leg. Opening the chest, shine the heart, close. Open, close. Shine the heart, close. Shine the love, close. Shine it back out, fab. Pivot on that back foot. Hi guys, back facing you. Finding that warrior again. Looking down your arm. Standing strong. And then straighten the front leg. Shift have to reach for that book. Maybe it's your book of love poems. And remembering, if you're coming to a block here, tipping into that triangle pose. Oh, I can feel a nice juicy pull through the back of my hip. Lovely. And then powering it up to the centre and taking it all the way over into your reverse triangle. Oh, juicy stretch up the other side of the body. Oh, all the self-love for the body. And we're going to pivot those toes back round again and come back into that deep forward fold. Shine the heart, lower the heart, grounding the heart. Woohoo! Option this time to walk your hands, and maybe you travelled your blocks here again, to whichever end you like of your mat. Which way to go? Which way to go? I'm going to grab my strap and this wheel and go back to this end, just because I might need those. I'm going to grab my blocks and move those and come to this edge of the mat. Coming into a tabletop position, and then send your hips back over your feet. Coming into a child's pose, let your head sink down to the mat. If this is not comfortable, you can cross the arms here and hold the elbows and let your head come down. Here, with your hips a little higher in your child's pose, find your comfort. You do you, guys. Love your body you're in. Today is all about love. Self-love of the lovely body. When you're ready, we're going to scoop that chest along the mat like we have been doing in that Chandra Namaskar. And come into a bit of a sphinx. Have a wiggle. And pull that heart through, shining it out. Universe, feel my love. Fab. And then when you're ready, peel the chest down to the mat. You can pop your head on a block here if you would like a little bit more space. And you can bring your hands at your side. Or you can be down here like this in your crocodile. You can also have your forehead on your hands here. Wherever you are, I would now like for you to lift the chest up off the ground and let it go back down. So finding those cactus arms that we were doing earlier in our high lunge and making this sort of double U shape. So we're sort of levering our arms back and lifting the chest, really, really pointing our toes of our legs and squeezing our glutes as we do this. Inhale, shine the heart. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, shine the heart, squeeze all of the leg muscles, all the booty muscles, and lower it back down. Lovely. Now we're going to lift one leg at a time now, so maybe bring your hands under your head so you've got a little bit more space to breathe with your head on the floor like this. And inhale a leg up, point the toes powerfully. Exhale it down. Inhale, do the other side. Lower it back down. Other side, point, flex. Maybe you flex and point your toes here as well. And lower it back down. Lift, maybe you point, maybe you point, maybe you flex those toes. Up to you. I suggest point. Lower it down. One more other side. Hold it, hold it. Let all of the muscles in the body squeeze through your lower body and lower it back down. And the other side, one more. Point those toes. Squeeze those muscles and lower it back down. Lovely. Okay. We're going to now try and lift each arm as a straight arm. Okay, so any arm you like. Lift the chest and the arm off the mat. Lovely. Other side. Chest and arm up off the mat. Lower it down. Chest and arm up off the mat. Lower it down. Chest and arm up the mat. lower it down. Now, if you could clasp your hands in your lunges earlier, please, I invite you to take that clasp here. If this was something that wasn't so comfortable, you could maybe see if you can lift your arms up off the floor like this a little bit, see how far they come to. You might have a block under your head while you play around with this, if you have one, maybe a book. And then try and see if you can take a strap behind your back like so and bridge that gap between the hands. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm bridging the gap between my hands with a strap. So you can maybe do this instead of clasping the palms. And when you're ready, we're going to come into our locust pose, which is creating a dish shape on our stomach and our pelvis. So any of you with bony hips, you might want to just fold the mat over here and place that under your pelvis, because we're going to come into this dish. And on 3, we're going to inhale and combine all of that leg lifting and all of that torso lifting to one pose and lower it back down. A full whole body pose. Woohoo! And if you've got room for one more in it, let's do it all together. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, lift everything. Point those fingers, point those toes, send them to the back of the room, behind you. And lower it back down, let everything go. And then just like kind of die here for a moment if you need to, take some breaths. Don't really die here, just, you know, relax. Don't go to sleep though yet. Okay. Next, I would like you to lift a leg up off the mat and feel like you're trying to kick yourself in the butt. Come on, girl, let's get going. Kicking yourself, kicking your own ass. We're going the opposite way from self-love now. We're now kicking our own ass. Okay, but you know, everybody needs a good motivational self. So, you know, sometimes we do have to talk to ourselves in a certain way to get ourselves going for the sake of our own good. So it's kind of self-loving. Finding our grit, kicking ourselves in the ass, motivating ourselves. Just keep switching over and kicking your own ass. And then with your forearm, so we've been coming into this sort of grabbing the elbows position. So the hand that is on the same side as the bent leg, see if you can grab that foot. Push the ground away with the forearm at the front, and then see if you can grab the inside of that foot and pull it down towards you in this half frog position. If you're finding this a little tricky, you can get a strap and hook the strap around the foot if you feel like you're quite far away, and sort of pull it, lever it towards you. Get a nice stretch there. Switch sides, so other arm comes across the front of the body, pushing the body up. See if you can grab that foot and pull it, push it away first, then switch so you're grabbing the instep and pulling the foot and pushing the foot down towards that bum in your half froggy. Lovely. So the reason we did that is because now we're going to have a go at coming into our bow pose. So another kind of dish-shaped thing. So if you folded the mat below your pelvis earlier, you may want to do that again. Coming down to lie flat on our front on the mat again. Any props you may need to make your face comfortable. Then bend both legs. And do that kick yourself in the ass position that we did a minute ago. Inhale up and see if you can grab both feet or ankles, or see what you can grab. And then when you've managed to grab something, I recommend the ankles. Maybe you can do your shins. If you're only at the feet, it might be a little bit trickier. We'll see where you go. But try and aim for the ankles. And then pull your body up. So as you kick those feet away from you with your hands wrapped around your ankles, this should lever your chest up off of the mat. Kick those feet so that the feet are flat, very flexed, and see if you can stop the knees from splaying open like so. Bring them in line with each other and breathe and relax. Lower your face down to the mat. Maybe bring your hands into your head. Woo, and just kind of die a little here. Nobody die, please. Fantastico. Lots of beautifully deep heart opening there. Maybe you've tried a new pose today. If you enjoyed that, you can maybe come into a child's pose if you feel ready to start winding down. Just go into your child's pose and connect to yourself again. If you really liked those poses and you're like, I would like to go deeper, you could, if you have a strap or a long thing that's like a strap. A lot of straps only have one buckle on them. I have this double-ended strap. So if you have a strap that only has one buckle end, you could maybe just tie another loop by tying a knot in it at the other end. You can have a go at putting your feet into each loop. Like so, and then I'm kind of like got these reins and I'm like riding my own feet, like yee! Woohoo, here we go, I'm like riding my own sleigh. Okay? And with this, I'm gonna deepen my bow pose and make it a bigger one. So I'm gonna reach back to where I can on the strap and allow my elbow to point up towards the sky. So before we were reaching back with a straight arm. Now we're grabbing the strap where we can and seeing if we can point our elbow towards the sky. So I want you to try and do that on both sides. Woohoo! Okay, so yes, you can see it's already a little bit deeper. Now see if you can go even further down the strap towards the feet. I recommend lying down to do this and seeing how far you can reach to the feet. And then point the elbows up to the sky and kick the feet up. And lower back down. Woo! And if you don't have a strap, but you'd like to try it, or you want to go to the next stage from the strap, it's this sort of flipping the grip thing that we're doing. So you get your foot, hello foot, and you try and grab. So I put my thumb on the blade of my foot and wrap my fingers around the instep side of my foot. You can also stick some fingers inside of the sort of big toe area and play with kicking one foot up. So coming into that forearm support shape again and flexing this back foot out, keeping your feet sort of a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and then just propping that one leg up on the toes. Bringing this arm across the body like so, and then find the foot and kicking up. So you're rolling and pushing more into one hip while the other one lifts. Switch arms and see if you can find that weird foot bind on the other side. Maybe you're using the toe thing, shoving some fingers in between the toe. Rotate and kick. Up. Ooh. Lovely. You might also want to use your strap to floss the shoulders open a little bit. If you've watched any of my videos, not every single one includes this, but I do it a lot. So wrapping the strap around the hands and inhaling and exhaling the shoulders open, trying to keep the arms straight. As you go around, I'm feeling very stiff today in the old shoulders. I've been doing lots and lots of strength stuff in my shoulders, which is why my body's like, you need to do some back bends, girl. Okay. And then you can try. I say try because today I am trying also, because my body has not done deep back bends like this for a couple of weeks. I've been focusing on arm balances, which is like pushing the body in the opposite direction. So you can come down onto the back. I'm going to do a quick deeper one with a strap first, because I'm feeling it super tight. I'm trying to get the straps as tight as I can, and then maybe look up. Then you have to keep breathing and lower back down. So that looking up as well really helps sort of open the chest up a little bit more, and you can kind of get that rock going on. So I'm going to try and do it without the strap, which I've not done in a while. Oh, I can't talk and do that, so it was just a demonstration of how you sort of come into it. So you grab the feet, as I demonstrated on each side first, you grab the feet and rotate the arm up and towards the ceiling and look up and really kick the feet up and pull the feet forward, making this big circular shape. Fabulous! So I will put this bit as like a segment on its own in the video. And then send your hips back into your child's pose. Ooh. Rest that head down on the mat. Take some deep breaths. And slide those hands towards you. Find your sit bones and swing your legs out in front of you. And just sit for a moment. You can place a block underneath your knees here. If your hamstrings are feeling a little tight, making sure the nice length through the spine. Maybe you can lift your arms up here as well to help you do that. Keep those naughty shoulders away from those ears though. Option also to have the hands resting on the sides here. Just connecting here. Just going to grab my strap so I can potentially demonstrate something in a minute. And when you're ready, we are going to lift the arms up and hinge at those hips. We're not reaching with the arms. We're hinging at the hips, delivering the torso down towards the feet. If you are flexible, you might be able to grab your feet. Pull that chest forward, shining that heart out a little bit again, but getting a nice long spine here. So not folding all the way down yet. If you're finding you can't reach here, you can be with your strap here and bring your torso towards the thighs using the strap. Otherwise, when you're ready, exhaling and seeing if you can fold deeper. Just connect to the breath, keeping that spine long so we're not hunching and pulling forward. My arms are actually quite loose here. They're gripping my feet, but they're not pulling myself down. I'm just inhaling and relaxing and seeing where my body wants to go to. You should feel a strong pull through the back of the hamstrings and possibly, very possibly in your lower spine after all, sending it in that opposite direction earlier. Now you can come all the way down. Imagine there's a cord pulling your head towards your feet. And when you're ready, slide back up. Lovely. Slide the hips forward towards the feet. Come down onto your forearms and roll slowly down. My God, that feels good. To lie down the opposite way up, sorry. Lift one foot, hook that, so flex the foot and hook it onto the opposite knee and push the knee out away from you. Grip or plant the palm of the opposite hand down and just play with the flexion of that hip, causing a sort of tension pulling against yourself by supporting on this opposite leg. And then lift the opposite foot and see if you can straighten that leg that the foot is pressing into and grasp behind the knee and bend. And see if you can pull the shoulders down to the mat, the tailbone down to the mat, and the inner, the foot down towards the torso in this reclined pigeon. So powerful hip opening. You should feel this through the back of your hip flexor and back of your hamstring where it connects to your hip. And then bring the feet down, switch sides. opening the hip. Hip out. Bending that knee. Flexing the foot. And pulling it all in so that the foot comes towards the torso. Getting a nice stretch here. Then get your peace fingers and wrap around your big toes or edges of the feet and bring the knees down towards the armpits. Elbows come inside of the shins or knees. Rock from side to side, massage that tailbone out. You might hear weird little like farty noises when my back is squelching against the mat. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully the camera isn't picking it up too much. And then cross the ankles. Give yourself a big hug because it's Valentine's Day. Massage that spine, that lower pelvis, tailbone area into the mat. And then allow the knees to go one way. Open that arm out into maybe a cactus shape or outstretch it fully. And allow the shoulders to both come down towards the mat. Nice side twist here. Maybe you have the neck look down the opposite arm as you do this. Cross the ankles over the other way and allow the knees to sink the opposite direction. Trying to keep this shoulder pulled down towards the mat. You can have a block under your knees here as well if your knees don't come all the way down. Not everyone's do. Perfectly normal. Be happy in your body and it feels today. Feel all the feels in your body because it's Valentine's Day. Bring the knees back again. And then just allow the legs to straighten out. Coming into your corpse pose, your Shavasana. Hi, so in your Shavasana, allow your body to connect to the mat. Tune in to your natural breathing. Feel your chest rising as you inhale and falling as you exhale. I invite you to bring a hand to the heart center and connect to the heart space. We spent a lot of time opening this space in our body during our flow. Just before I recorded this video, I saw one of the robins from my garden heart space is really lit up and really proud, shining out that beautiful, vibrant plumage so proudly, and they really puff out their chests as they sing. So as you inhale and connect to your heart space, I'd like you to envision you with this bright colour. You can choose what colour, it doesn't have to be red or orange like a robin. Maybe it's green like the heart chakra, or pink like a rose quartz that represents the heart chakra. It's your heart chakra, you choose the colour. But I want you to imagine it's your proud colour that represents your heart. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine shining that colour and puffing it out bigger and brighter. And as I feed these robins, they attract to me. And the more we shine our heart out, the more we attract love to us. The more we give love to ourselves and feed our heart space, the more we can shine it out brightly. And attract more love. And shine out more love. I just wanted to mention that about the robins. So we can choose to feed that space of self-love, of pride in ourselves. We can choose to nourish and nurture our heart, and the more we feed it, the bigger it grows, and the more space we have for it in others, and for others in it. And so with every breath you take, I want you to imagine you're feeding your heart with shining bright light, and shining it out like a beacon. Maybe you imagine yourself singing a beautiful song from your heart space like the robin. Imagine you can hear that beautiful bird call coming from your own heart. Maybe you want to send that beautiful sound out, that beautiful bird call from your beautiful heart. Maybe you want to send that to somebody today. Maybe there is someone you're very fond of or connected to that is no longer with us, or you would like to invite into your heart space that you haven't found the words. Maybe you wish that that person would sing their heart out toward you. I would like you to imagine that person returning your call, returning that call from their heart space. You're singing your heart out to them, and you can hear them singing back to you. Feel the ripples, the vibrations of that beautiful, expressive, free call of joy, of love, of pure pleasure and pride. temperature of the room, any distant sounds you can hear. I ask you, when you're ready, to begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe rock your head from side to side. Blinking open the eyes. Tuning back into the room, to the here and now. Maybe you would like to stay where you are, or I invite you to come to seated. Take your hands to heart center. Take a breath in with the hands at heart center. Bring them up overhead. Touch the thumbs to the third eye and to the lips. And bow. Namaste. And bring them back to the heart. Thank you for practicing with me and shining your heart out on this Valentine's Day and doing something self-loving, self-accepting, doing something maybe with pride, opening your heart space up maybe to something new. Thank you for choosing